like Dallas just played a phenomenal game, obviously against the Bucks, which whatever you can say what you want, but their defense isn't bad. Like their defense is a top defense in the league. I'm taking Dallas because ratings with them against Philly in the NFC Championship game, that'd be huge. They don't want the NFL doesn't want Dallas versus the Giants. In all honesty, they want to see Dallas and Philly. There's a lot more there. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and say, hey, this is gonna be a 17-13 game, Dallas. I'm taking a low scoring game, 17-13 Dallas. Brock Purdy does not come clutch on the final drive, and Dallas milks the clock with Tony Pollard at the end when they don't have any timeouts. Now, in defense, if Dallas wants to win this game, Trayvon Diggs has to follow Deebo Samuel everywhere he goes around that field because this is the time in the playoffs. If you're that true number one corner, go follow that guy that's worth $20 million a year and prove that you can go and hold him to under 100 yards, if whatever, but stop him in this game. I have a low-scoring game. I think turnovers are going to be crucial. I think we'll see a lot of not 3-and-outs, but like drives that'll look good, and then they get to pass midfield, and then they'll have to punt at like the 40, 45, stuff like that. I think it's going to be a very interesting first half.
What's the you guys know the over-under?
No, I don't.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I definitely, and going off of this too, Dylan, I want your opinion while Cam's looking this up. On the last, I think it was 42 rushing attempts, Tony Pollard has 174 rushing yards, and Zeke has only 74. But I'm a fan of Zeke, even though he plays for Dallas.
You saw it last week. It is what it is. Tony Pollard's a playmaker. Pollard's going to be used more in the playoffs. Zeke's going to be used for goal line and short yardage first down plays. And I think that's the best way you could do it because playoffs come down to a couple big plays a game, and I think Tony Pollard is that for Dallas. I think him, CD, and got to start talking about Dalton Schultz a little bit. 2 TDs last.
I think I said that 2 podcasts ago.
And, the big plays are what's going to matter. And and Michael Gallup and his tippy toes on those sidelines, give it to him. He's not – I said he's not that 5-7 catches, 100-some yards. He's not that guy anymore. But he will have those big plays. He will have those deep ball catches on the sideline, tiptoes, all that good stuff. But that's what wins your playoff games. And I think Tony Pollard's the way to go right now. Just keep feeding Zeke on the short yardage plays.
Definitely. Cam, you got the over-under there?
Yeah, so the over-under is 46. Dallas over 46. San Fran under 46. Dallas +4. San Fran -4. And the money line is San Fran -200 and Dallas +170. So, it's looking pretty tight, to be honest with you. That's a lot closer than I thought.
That's pretty decent value for the Cowboys if you're taking
it. Is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
the over's going to hit, definitely.
Maybe, though.
The 49ers have been scoring 30 every game. They put up 41 last week after scoring, 16 in the first half?
Yeah, but I think the people that are taking the under are betting on Purdy, like, getting rattled with the pressure and, like, the just playing, like, the Cowboys defense, which is one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Both great defenses.
Both of the defenses, they're top 3 in the league.
That's what I mean. So, yeah, it could very well be under, but, I'm still trying to push in the over because it could very well be the over, dude. Both these offenses could really move the ball.
Yeah, we've seen it with both offenses last week. Putting up a lot.
You know what this game kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of the Bills-Chiefs game when the Rams had a really high-scoring offense and their defense was really good against the Chiefs. That's what this game kind of reminds me of. Like,
wasn't that like
that aspect?
40-something? Dude, wasn't that like a wild?
It was like a 100-point game.
Yeah, dude, that was
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was like 54-51 or something.
Jared Goff, is he the real deal this year? Is he back?
Definitely. Goff deserves it.
Yeah, he does.
Going off of that, we're going to go right in from now Dallas, Philly, Giants, etc. We're going to go right in NFC East turnaround from 2021. Obviously, all of us here are supporting at least one NFC East team. Everyone said this is the easiest division to play. And we went from Cowboys 12-5, Eagles 9-8, Washington 7-10, the Commanders 7-10, and the Giants 4-13 last season, to the big turnaround to Dallas. Obviously stayed at 12-5, no surprise. Eagles shot to 14-3, Washington 9-7-1, and the Giants 8-1. So I mean, what happened? Or no, flip flop. Washington 8-1, Giants 9-7-1. So what do you think? Do you think that all the teams were like, hey, we're getting called that we're getting bullied up by the rest of the league, that all right, we want the NFC East teams diverse. So what do you guys think happened with that?
I mean, look at all the young talent, man, that's in the division now. You know what I mean? They're all starting to like have a couple years under their belt, besides guys like Jahan Dotson and stuff like that are like rookies but still playing really good. But like CeeDee Lamb is playing really good. Devontae Smith's playing really good. The Eagles brought in A.J. Brown. The Giants drafted Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's playing extremely well at the end of the season. The Commanders have Chase Young. Hopefully he could stay healthy. But yeah, I think that definitely plays a huge factor in it, man. All this young talent that's in this division now.
Yeah, Steve, did you say Thibodeaux?
Thibodeaux. Or however you say it, dude, whatever. How do you pronounce it?
Thibodeaux.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I think definitely there's a lot of young talent in the division. I think the main reason that all the teams seem to get better is their defenses. I mean, the Eagles, they have one of the top, them and Dallas, the top 3 or 4 defenses in the league. The Giants, they're really starting to improve in defense. I think their defense could easily be good for 5 to 10 years. And the Commanders, that they have solid young pieces on their defense that are coming through for them. So I think that's one of the main reasons we're seeing NFC East teams get more wins. And it's honestly crazy that 2 years ago, the Commanders won the division with a 7-9 record. And the past 5 or 6 years, there's always been at least one team with 3 or 4 wins in the division. So I think this year they took a crazy leap in talent in this division. So I hope it'll, stay true and keep being.
Yeah, I think no team has ever won the NFC East back to back since for like the last 15, 20 years.
Or 2.
Yeah, so that's another thing. It's always competitive, even if we're down and out with our division, even if it's a sad division. And I agree with you that it's defense and like Steve said, young guys coming up, stepping up, playing. If I'm not mistaken, Dallas's defense, I think it wasn't last year, Dylan. I think 2 years ago, before they drafted Micah, right, that they were the worst defense. They were giving up like 30 points a game. Yeah. So I think that's just a step up.
Well, how it went is Dallas was that 2 years ago. Dallas, they lost Dak with his broken ankle injury, and then they also had a historically bad defense.
Jeff Heath was the guy, right?
I like Jeff Heath. He's fast and he hit. But so no, like they had a historically bad defense. They after that year, it was Mike McCarthy's first year there. It was just kind of a disaster. And I think it was the year after that year ended. Obviously, Dak was getting healthy. He was going to be back for the first game the following year. So you knew your offense was going to be back to at least good or like even elite, because I mean, before Dak got injured that year, that was when the defense was bad and Dak was throwing for 400 yards a game to start the year. And then, so you knew your offense was going to be fine. So then all they did was just pile up on defense in the draft and free agency. They brought in Dan Quinn, which Dan Quinn has just been outstanding since he showed up. The Eagles this past year, they went a little bit crazy in free agency and, the draft and stuff like that. So that they
just
rebuilt.
Like they did in 17.
They had the pieces. They just filled some more holes, and that's why they're better. I think the Giants, the Giants remind me of this year. I think they remind me of, I can't remember exactly what year it is. It might be 17. The Jacksonville Jaguars with Blake Bortles.
With Bortles, yeah.
Like, they're not. I don't see the Giants going to the Super Bowl, but they're just one of them teams you would never think that they even would win a playoff game. They made it, but you don't think that you're like, oh, they barely made it. They're just lucky, whatever. and then they come in and they just shock one or two teams, and then they'll just finally their luck's going to run out, their momentum's going to run out, and they're going to get the boot. And Washington, they're just a quarterback away. I really think they are. I think that if they get a quarterback, they're going to have to 11 wins every year.
They have a good receiving core.
Yeah, I agree. I think the GMs don't get enough credit for what they've done to change the dynamic of the teams in the NFC East. With Howie going out, the GM owner of Dallas, Jerry Jones, Schoen, is that how you say it, for New York or whatever, however you say his name. But for
Dan Schneider, though, for Washington,
yeah, I'm not a big
Or
fan
he's
of
the
that
owner.
guy. I think
He's the owner.
Yeah.
Still, he's a nut job. So once he sells that team and whoever takes it over, I think they'll be much better.
He's not the guy who ran iCarly, is he?
No, that's
All right, that's two different
No,
Dan Schneiders. All right.
I don't think so.
Why'd you want his autograph?
No, I was just wondering because there's a lot. I mean, with Washington, they're
theories
doing
on-
stuff with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of leaked information that came out about Washington.
I have a quick question for you guys. I mean, anybody can answer. I'm going to shoot Luke right now with it. Mike McCarthy, so I was watching a show this week, and it was doing blind resumes, and I think it was The Herd, and it was bringing up all the statistics, and it was McCarthy's up there with his stats are right there with one of the all the best coaches, Andy Reid, with all the great coaches in the league, and then they're all right, well, let's take away Aaron Rodgers from McCarthy in his career and see how much it changed, and they took him away, and they did another blind resume, and they were and they showed it, and they were yeah, well, that's Bill Belichick, and McCarthy had better stats without Aaron Rodgers than Bill Belichick has without Tom Brady. And I was just I'm not saying he's a better coach than Bill Belichick. Obviously, I'm not going that far. But what do you think? Do you think he's a better coach and he gets credit?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when he first got hired after that season that he's had where the defense wasn't stepping up. I remember, for example, the Pupos were the first to say, "Oh, let's get rid of McCarthy." So
not me.
And I was stick it out with him, dude. McCarthy is a Super Bowl champion head coach. I don't necessarily believe a head coach makes a quarterback, so I think it's all the system. Yeah, a system can go and help a quarterback, but you also have to play the right game. And I think McCarthy is a very well-rounded head coach to where he knows what he's talking about. He's been a head coach around the league and in a winning organization for quite some time. Even when he was in Green Bay, they let him go because they weren't getting necessarily to the Super Bowls. It wasn't because they were missing playoffs. It's just they weren't getting to where the like Dylan likes to say, the choke artist Rodgers wasn't getting to where they need to be. And with Matt LaFleur now as Rodgers head coach, they're not, even though Rodgers has won back-to-back MVPs, it's showing though that he's not able to go even when the right pieces are around him with Aaron Jones, one of my favorite running backs in the league, Devontae Adams. He's not getting to where he needs to be.
I mean,
I disagree with you about Matt LaFleur because
I think he's that good head coach.
Oh, he's a good head coach. I don't think they've fallen off. He's pretty much doing the same thing McCarthy did. I mean, other than this year, obviously they lost Devontae. Aaron went on a whole trip in the forest, whatever. But the 2 years prior, the Packers won 13 games. They made it to the divisional round in the NFC Championship, and then they choked. That's just what they've been doing, even with McCarthy. So I don't really think coaching matters up there.
I think
in Dallas, I think the best coach in Dallas is Kellen Moore.
Ooh, I very disagree with that, but I think McCarthy is very good. Besides, I don't like him situationally. I think when it comes to late games, he needs to make better timeout decisions and stuff like that. If he can make, because I think he cost us a couple games with his little clock management issues that he has. I don't know where he goes when he's doing that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good coach. I think he could definitely get it done. So I just want to. That's why I just wanted to ask you quick. We can move on from that.
Yeah, no, I think